Revealed Johnny Lamb on live TV, shocking fans and making them question everything they thought they knew about the co-founder of Daystar. A popular figure in Christian television, is now at the center of a scandal that could ruin her career for good. Roy's bold move has shocked people in the faith community with shocking revelations and jaw-dropping details. Stay with us as we find out what really happened at this very moment. For months, rumors have been going around about what caused Royy to expose Johnny Lamb. It's clear that there were many things that led up to this shocking event. Reports say that the two women's friendship, which used to be friendly, has been tense for a while. Royce, who is known for her no-nonsense approach to finding wrongdoing and her investigative writing, had begun to notice troubling trends in Daystar Television Network. Over the years, stories spread that Lamb's power was growing behind the scenes, and many people began to wonder if she was abusing her power to get what she wanted. Some people inside the network had long thought that Lamb was really in charge of more of Daystar's shows than she let on, despite her public image as a helpful co-founder. Some people said that she was the one who made many of Daystar's choices. Royce is said to have heard the stories and started looking into them because she used to work in the Christian media business. She had been collecting information about Daystar for a while after noticing some red flags, such as questionable financial deals and what some people called a lack of openness about where funds were going. As Daystar's popularity and impact grew, Lamb worked behind the scenes to get some important people in the Christian media business to back her personal goals. Investigations were done, and it was said that she had gotten papers and testimony that pointed to possible corruption within Daystar, especially in relation to how Lamb's power had grown over the years. There were, however, also human forces at play. Lamb was known as the face of Daystar for a long time. She and her husband Marcus Lamb made the network possible. But as time went on, some people thought that her job had become more important and that she had started to take charge in a way that some people didn't like. The more people heard this story, the more uncomfortable it made other Daystar workers. As the situation got worse, it was clear that Royce had chosen to tell everyone what she had found. It was said that Royy had talked to former Daystar workers and people who work in the banking world who had seen these shady activities firsthand. Others thought that Royy might have talked to people who had lost faith in Daystar and were ready to speak out against Lamb's influence. It got around that Royy had enough proof to voice her worries in public, and everyone was looking forward to when Royce finally did. People reacted quickly and strongly to what she said, and the world of Christian radio and TV would never be the same again. People spoke out about stories that had been going around quietly for a while. These reports painted a very different picture of Johnny Lamb than anyone had thought possible. The Trinity Foundation did say last month, though, that Lamb owns 6 homes. From Lamb's rising power in Daystar to the financial worries made by insiders, the rumors pointed to a woman who had become more powerful behind the scenes than anyone had thought at first. There are homes worth about $11 million that the Christian TV mogul owns in 3 states, which shows how rich she is. Roy's study shows that Lamb also owns a 7th property in a 4th state. This makes the total value of the real estate she got through Christian ministry $2.7 million to Joni's. Joni's home in Colville, Texas is worth $2 million. The $9 million home is 7,358 square feet and sits on more than 2 acres. It has 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and is close to Colville, Texas. It has a jacuzzi and a pool that is built into the ground. An statement made by Trinity Foundation says that according to TRR, the Colleyville home is mentioned as Joni's mailing address on a 2025 warranty deed that gives Joni property from Marcus Lamb's bankruptcy estate. This shows that Joni and her late husband owned the home in 2012. Trinity Foundation gave TRR a guarantee deed that says Joni bought a 2-acre lot in a gated neighborhood in Colleyville, Texas, in March 2022. At the time, $9 million worth of homes were being built on the lot. The shocking things Royce said about Johnny Lamb shook the Christian television world to its core. They showed a side of the co-founder of Daystar that no one had seen coming. In Christian media for many years, Joni Lamb was seen as a strong and admired person. Together with her late husband Marcus Lamb, she helped start Daystar Television Network. They made it one of the most well-known Christian news networks in the world. Roy said that Lamb's impact was much bigger than anyone thought. He said that Lamb controlled not only the direction of Daystar, but also the whole message of the Christian media space. The depth of Royce's remarks shocked everyone. She told them things, many of which had never been made public before. Roy said Lamb had used her job at Daystar to get other preachers and even prophets to change their words so that they would help her make money and run her business. These claims were not just guesses. Roy backed them up with what she called substantial evidence, like financial records, statements from former employees, and emails that showed how Lamb had set up deals to make sure that Daystar's programming fit her own tastes. Roy said in her fiery speech, "Joni Lamb has been using Daystar for years as a way to get what she wants. She's not just building a church, she's building a day." The main points of the accusations were that Lamb allegedly managed the ministry's money and used Daystar's large following in the Christian media industry to get richer. Roy explained that many of the financial choices made at Daystar had seemed fishy, but no one had been able to prove anything up to this point. Roy said that Lamb had created an environment where the focus wasn't just on spreading the gospel but also on making sure that the network's success kept feeding into her financial empire. Daystar, which used to be seen as a spiritual hub, had slowly turned into something more focused on making money. Roy Lamb said that she had hacked the network's fundraising efforts by getting some televangelists to promote very profitable donation drives that promised viewers personal blessings or financial prosperity if they gave large amounts of money. Roy said that Lamb's role in this change was important and central, and he also pointed out specific times when Daystar's shows and the messages from important people on the network seemed to follow Lamb's lead, promoting ideas that were more about making money than giving spiritual advice. Roy said that Lamb set up deals involving real estate investments, offshore accounts, and shell companies that were used to hide assets and move money around. Roy said that Lamb's business dealings were not limited to the network alone. She allegedly used Daystar's influence to take advantage of lucrative opportunities that had nothing to do with the ministry, directing money into her own accounts instead of the ministry's charitable causes. What Roy claimed was the most shocking revelation was that Lamb was linked to some financial dealings that went beyond Daystar itself. Another important part of Roy's expose was how she was said to have manipulated ministers in the Daystar network. Roy said that Lamb was known for forcing influential people to align their messages with Daystar's larger financial and branding goals. This wasn't just about ministry, it was about keeping up a carefully crafted public image that gave Lamb even more power. Roy said that Lamb had long used her position to make deals with powerful people in the Christian ministry world, making sure they promoted Daystar and its mission in exchange for money. Even though the evidence Royce presented was only circumstantial, it was enough to raise serious questions about the integrity of Lamb's operations. The way Roy spoke made it clear that she wasn't saying what she was saying out of spite or a personal grudge, but because she thought the truth needed to be told. "This isn't just about one woman's career," Roy said. "This is about the future of Christian media. The integrity of ministries like Daystar is at stake." The seriousness with which Roy made her accusations added to the gravity of what she was saying. She wasn't just joking, she was calling for action. Many people in the Christian media community were shocked by how serious the accusations were, while others saw it as a chance to start looking again at how major Christian ministries handle their money and operations. Daystar's followers were split. Some were shocked that someone they had trusted for so long could be involved in such controversial activities, while others began to wonder about the network's real goals, wondering how much of what they had been watching was spiritual and how much was about making money. People stopped trusting Joni Lamb as a leader in Christian media as soon as the story hit social media and the news. They started watching old shows and fundraising campaigns to see if they had been lied to the whole time. The fallout was quick and intense for Joni Lamb. Fans who had once admired her started to doubt her honesty, and supporters of Daystar were left wondering what the truth was. This was part of a larger conversation about honesty in religious media. Many viewers who had previously given large amounts of money to Daystar started to feel cheated. Some even said they had been tricked into giving money under false pretenses. Roy's revelations did more than just bring attention to Joni Lamb. They made the whole industry look at how Christian networks and ministries work behind closed doors. Royce had shown the darker side of an industry based on faith, and the effects of her brave statement were just beginning to be felt. For some, the trust was broken forever, and they started to stay away from the network completely. Others who stayed loyal to Lamb and Daystar fought back against the accusations, saying they were false and part of a larger smear campaign. It was worth $1.5 million, but the new house that will be built on it will be 9,738 square feet and only cost $3 according to architectural plans submitted for a Colleyville construction permit. The house is still being built, but 9 million photos that TRR was able to obtain show that most of the front of the house is finished. In September 2023, Joni and her new husband Doug Weiss bought a 330-foot Gulfront condo in Muir Beach, Florida, for $2 million according to a warranty deed that the Trinity Foundation provided. Fans were shocked, angry, and hurt when Royy exposed Joni Lamb on live TV. Many fans had been following Daystar and Joni Lamb for years and had never seen this coming. The 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom home was designed with the help of one of the best design firms in the area. Everything in this unit is top of the line and no expense was spared. The listing says all the furnishings, accessories, window treatments, bedding, and artwork are all coordinated for each individual room. Joni Lamb went from co-founder of Daystar to a well-known figure in Christian media. Her poised personality, calm demeanor, and public role alongside her late husband Marcus Lamb made her a beloved figure in many homes. For years, people trusted the content they saw on Daystar, believing it to be truly divinely inspired content that fit with their own spiritual values. But hearing such explosive accusations against her was like seeing the foundation of their faith fall apart right in front of their eyes. People who had spent a lot of time and energy on Daystar found the accusations unbelievable. Fans who had supported Lamb for years were even more shocked and confused. Many asked online how someone they had admired could be involved in such dishonest activities. Some couldn't even believe that Lamb, whom they had trusted, could be using Daystar for personal business purposes. It was hard for some to believe that a woman who seemed to be an honest and hard-working ministry leader could have been involved in such activities. As the news spread, people had a lot of different reactions on social media. Some people defended Joni Lamb, saying they thought the accusations were part of a bigger plot and that Royy was using her job as a reporter to smear Lamb's reputation. They said it was all part of an effort to bring down Daystar and its influence in Christian media, but these supporters strongly denied the claims, saying Lamb had always been an honest woman. People who support Joni Lamb have said that the attack on her character was an attempt to silence a strong voice in Christian broadcasting. One fan wrote, "This is just a baseless attack that has no truth behind it." But many others felt betrayed by the accusations because they had supported Daystar for years and often donated to the network or watched its shows as part of their spiritual journey. Someone who followed them wrote, "I believe Joni and Marcus were telling the truth about God." Fans who had supported Lamb weren't the only ones who felt betrayed. Former employees and ministry partners also spoke out, sharing how the network had changed under Lamb's leadership. For these people, it wasn't just about the money, it was about how deeply they felt connected to the network and its mission. "I've been watching Daystar for more than 20 years, albeit for more than 20 years. These former employees talked about how Lamb's influence had slowly turned the network into what they saw as a business empire. One former employee admitted that the messages were less about God and more about selling a way of life that would be rich if you didn't follow along. Critics said this change wasn't just about making money, they saw things going on behind the scenes that didn't match the network's public image. Fans who had been drawn to the ministry's spiritual messages started to doubt everything. One viewer wrote on social media, "I trusted them and now I feel like a fool." While many people were dealing with the emotional impact of the accusations, others began to call for action. Some fans demanded that Daystar address the accusations right away, including issuing a public statement. Many fans began to question the sincerity of the shows they had watched for years. People were still upset about what happened after the dust settled. The accusations shocked many people, leaving them unsure of what to do next. Fans who had once seen Daystar as a source of hope and spiritual guidance began to question the motives of those who ran the network. "We need answers," said one longtime viewer. "If this is true, Daystar should be held accountable." They owed it to their viewers to explain themselves. Some people saw it as a sign of disappointment. The emotional toll was especially high for people who had followed Lamb and her ministry for years, believing in her sincerity and commitment to sharing the gospel. For these people, this was not just a scandal but a personal betrayal that made them lose faith in the Christian media industry. The fallout was huge, and Daystar's future became uncertain. Fans wondered if the network could handle the backlash and if Joni Lamb could fix her damaged reputation. Some chose to stay loyal to Lamb, believing that the accusations were part of the truth. In the end, fans were shocked, confused, and felt betrayed. As the situation went on, it became clear that Roy's expose had caused a crisis in the world of Christian media. For Joni Lamb, the scandal would have effects that would last for years, and it was unclear if she would be able to recover from them. The scandal had hurt her reputation and the trust of her fans.